Hey there, YouTube. Well, on this rainy day, I want to treat you all with one of the most attractive sedans in the Audi lineup, and it's this 2012 Audi A7 Quattro with 9,000 miles on it. Now, the A7 essentially competes against cars such as the Mercedes CLS. Some compare it against the Volkswagen CC. I wouldn't say so. But for the reason that its form factor, you can see it looks like a coupe, but it's 4 doors. Now, the A7 is powered by a supercharged 3-liter V6, making 310 horsepower, so this thing will be quite the rocket. Back, dual exhaust tips. It says 3.0T. I really don't know why they say 3.0T. This car isn't even turbocharged. I don't know. Anyways, you can see how the roofline just slopes down. That is a huge liftgate, actually. And the seats do fold down, and you're going to see it has excellent cargo capacity. It has somewhat of a sad face. You can see the shape of the taillights. But, I don't know, in my opinion, it still looks quite attractive. You can see these huge wheels. It's these 265 35/20s rear disc brakes, as you guys can see. Those wheels are huge. Now, as you guys can see, the pillarless door design over here, see, just like a convertible. And check out this chocolate colored leather. The adjustments to the seats, tilt it as much as you want. Let me just adjust all the thigh support I want right there. Backrest, lumbar support, and this is just the height of the lumbar support right there. You can see how the back is just bulging. I love how it's perforated leather and the lighter colored stitching. You can see the key fob, smart key, very simple lock. This latch the lift gate in back, unlock and panic. You actually do have a emergency key pop out over here. Just push this little button. You barely can't see it because it's so flush, and you have this little backup right there, just in case if this car happens to be dead. Snaps right back on. It's push button start, by the way. Now the ignition is right here, right by the shifter. Odd placement for it, actually. It's just away from the driver. Let me focus in a little bit for you guys. There you go. The A7 came to market in 2012, and I first saw it at the 2011 New York Auto Show, and its design really struck me. That coupe-like form factor in back, I just love that. And for the moment, first impressions are fantastic. This A7 happens to be the prestige trim level, so yeah, you get everything. That's the top of the line trim, though you don't get absolutely everything. I can make out on the door speaker it says Bose. There's actually a better sound system than that offered for the A7. Prestige is supposed to boost quad zone climate controls, adaptive headlamps, standard 19-inch wheels. Yeah, this car was upgraded to the 20-inch wheels, as you guys saw earlier. When it comes to comfort, the A7 does deliver, in my opinion. These seats are absolutely comfortable. They are very supportive. Again, the perforated leather inserts over here. Heated and cooled seats, so that is a plus. Nicely bolstered on the sides. Backrest also hugs your torso immensely. You can see how the headrest adjusts over here. Just push this button. I think you guys saw. Thigh support, lacking somewhat, but it's not too bad. You can see how it's bolstered somewhat up here in front. This added cushion over here, so it's not too bad. Legroom is surprisingly better than I expected, even though you have a slightly large transmission hump. Yeah, lots of shoulder room, and elbow comfort also is fine. You can see how they actually recessed the B-pillar somewhat, so you won't ever bang your elbow on here, even though I'm a 6'1" driver. Interior quality also doesn't disappoint. Dashboard nicely padded throughout. I love these real wood trim pieces over here. I love that. It gives the cabin a more rustic feel. I love that. You can even feel the textures and all, not that ugly, glossy thing that you'd even find in a $15,000 car. Glove box, a bit on the smaller side. You have the 6-disc CD changer, valet button. This seems to be for the keys over here for the lug nuts. Yeah, exactly what it is. But yeah, it's quite small. The lid is plastic, by the way. It is damped, and you do have the dual latches, and when you shut it, shuts evenly and it doesn't flap around. Now the sides over here, padded. Again, for the radio, you can insert your CDs right there. SD card slot. Here you have a little SIM card. Backup sensors. This actually tilts up a little wing and back. Stability control. Climate control, quad zone, heated and cooled seats. This car utilizes an 8-speed automatic. Manual shift mode is right there, and you can also utilize the paddles also on the steering wheel. Now, I forgot to mention, going back up to the radio, you also have Bluetooth, HD radio, satellite radio. And as soon as you put the car in reverse, you'll also have the backup camera. It's actually quite colorful and, for the most part, very clear. You can make out the Jaguar, the 7 Series Beamer, and the Fiat 500 right there to the side. Now let's move right back down again, I'm sorry. Electronic e-brake, and here's actually a touch interface over here. Let me get the sound off, I'm supposed to be playing. Yeah, all these numbers, the presets, you can actually adjust them right there, touch-based. Volume controls right there, Seek to adjust the stations, Navi, phone, media, radio again. The menu button, quite similar to the interface like you'd find in Mercedes, but this button actually happens to be broken. You can just see, let me just focus in for you. Yeah, you can just make out it's a little bit broken right there. And this button is just dead. So whoever buys this car has to go to the Audi dealer. You can just see how it just spins freely right there like a little top. Yeah. Ashtray. And this was a smoker's car. Ugh, I hate that. Let me close this. Push that and it'll close right up. Dual cup holders. Make out right there. Armrest. These two sections over here. This right up. iPod connectivity. Well, they actually added this over here. This is an add-on feature. Power outlet right down there. Now this armrest doesn't slide forward though, it's not really that necessary, and it is adjustable. You can adjust the height, see? You have to move it all the way back up to unlock it, so I prefer it a little bit up like that. The steering wheel is nicely thick all the way around, leather wrapped, side bolsterings, control through the menu right there. You can just fluctuate through everything. Find a Bluetooth. Reminds me of the My 4 Touch somewhat. That's the compass. I love how sleek that looks. Again, Navi controls and info right there. Volume. I don't want this thing to start talking to me. But this is how you activate the hands-free controls. Paddles, intermittent speed wipers, cruise control, turn signal lever. The steering wheel tilts and telescopes electronically with this button on the side. Headlamps, adaptive headlamps again, so whenever you move the wheel, the headlamps will move towards that direction somewhat, so that is very nice. Panel dim right there. Old school style, turn this knob. Fog lamps. Finish excellent on the A-pillar. You can see nice and tight and everything's nicely padded. This headliner. Very plush going into the back seat. Fit finish is consistent. Roasted handles are damped. Spring is concealed and you can see the sunroof. Very nice. The home link garage door opener right there. This actually turns on the rear dome light in back. Map light, LEDs right there. Now you can open the sunroof with this button. Self-explanatory. We'll leave it open. Adds in more light to the interior. You can see the holder for the sunglasses. Very nice. Now you have the sun visor. Mirror and vanity light up above, also LEDs. The rear view mirror also dims. You can see a little sensor, on and off switch. There's no compass on there. Remember, the compass is right here on the instrument cluster. And here's the driver's side sun visor, also with its mirror and vanity lights, LEDs. Top of the door panel, nicely padded. Again, these wood accents also follow on to the door. Door locks, memory seating, set right there for up to 2 settings. Armrest, nicely plush. Side also. Child lock for both doors. You could control that from up here instead of going into the back door and trying to find a little lock function by the latch. All 4 windows auto up and down. See, all 4 power mirrors, and the mirrors are heated, by the way. This latch, the lift gate in back, the pocket, everything here nicely padded. Materials do carry over to the back seat when it comes to the door panel. Some others up front, nicely padded here. Ashtray, door locks. And you can make out, legroom isn't too bad considering I had the seat adjusted to where I like, and remember, I am a 6'1" driver. Now, thigh support is lacking somewhat. My leg is up in the air, but again, it's not too bad because they were thoughtful enough in adding an extra cushion over here. They bolstered the front section, so it does help somewhat if you are a shorter passenger. The quad zone clamp controls up front, it was dual zone, and up here is dual zone, so it's quad zone. Adjust the fan speed, temperature on each side, so everybody can get their own temp and fan speed. Dual power outlets. The net behind the seats. Now here is the armrest. A bit flimsy, but that's to be expected, though it is padded despite looking flimsy and thin. You can see it's very cushiony. A cup holder will slide out if you push over here. Very good. Surprisingly, headroom isn't bad. Remember, I'm 6'1", and you can just see the top of my head. I have my hat on, so it does increase my height a little bit. And lastly, we also have the AC right on the B-pillar as well, so you are blown from all over the place. Now remember, I lifted the spoiler. Again, helps improve downforce and also gives the car a sportier look while it's running. I think it goes up automatically like on Porsches, but again, it's just so gorgeous, this back end. I forgot to stress out the backup sensors. You can just see the little circles right there. Yeah. Well, anyways, this actually opens up electronically. You can see how it just goes right back up. Very good. And yeah, the cargo capacity in this car is excellent. Like this, it reminds me of the Cross Tour somewhat, but that's a terrible comparison. But anyways, you have a small cargo cover, and those seats do fold down, 60-40 split fold. Perhaps I should do that right now. This is where you, yeah, right there, folds right down, doesn't intrude with the seat. And you have a beautiful flat floor right there. So yeah, lots of utility. Cargo lights on each side. You also have the latches in case you need to tie down something. Computers and such down here. Nothing we want to see. Anyways, that's not my business. You have the spare tire. The subwoofer to the Bose sound system, or the amp back here. You can see it says Bose. If you want the tailgate to go down electrically, just have the patience right there. Well, actually, here's another cover for the cargo. Falls on top over here, so everything's hidden. As you guys can see, you can't look inside. You can see the LED accent lights on the lower sections of the headlamps. These are HIDs. Unfortunately, the flashers aren't LEDs. That's quite interesting. But again, it's a gorgeous front end to this car. And I just love how on the camera you can just see how the light just refreshes. It has like a real whoop. This beautiful 3-liter V6. It's supercharged, of course. 310 horsepower at 5,500 RPM and 325 foot-pounds of torque at 2,900 RPM. So this car is quite the rocket despite having this rather small engine. And I love how they show all the craftsmanship, no ugly engine covers or anything like that. I've been criticized for saying, why must an engine look nice, but just look at this. I mean, from opening the hood, you can actually appreciate how beautiful the engine looks. It's dual overhead cam and direct injected, of course, variable valve timing as well. Rather quiet too. Let me close the doors because, yeah, that's all you can hear, and the windows. I'll shut this cooled seat. It's more pleasant with the windows closed. Actually shakes the car too. Very rev happy, this engine. Now, I will admit, this car did exceed my expectations. I was a bit concerned of the back seat, but it really wasn't a problem. I was comfortable for the most part, just thigh support lacking somewhat, but it was not a deal breaker by any means, and it's still a comfortable back seat. Now, this car starts around 60 grand, and yeah, it's right on line with the Mercedes CLS. The advantage with the CLS is that you have a variety of engines to choose from, versus with the A7, you're only stuck with this 3-liter V6, so it's supercharged, and it will be a fast car. I guess for those looking for that sweet V8 grunt, you would just have to go over to the CLS if you want that. The A7 does have the advantage for offering much more utility. I mean, this thing's like a little wagon in back, so I love that. It has comfort, it has power, it handles beautifully, looks sexy, and it's not the kind of car that you will just see every day. I mean, to be honest, I think since the A7 was introduced, I've only seen one on the road. Owners must be appreciative of their cars. It's not something that you'd see all over the place like rice and beans. This car just feels much more personal, in my opinion. Definitely won't fail to impress you.